Hello traders, my name is Tomasz Wiśniewski. I'm a chief analyst in Alpari Research and Analysis, and this is daily analytical report with the best trading occasions on the market. And during those 10-20 minutes we'll try to find the most promising setups on the market. So let's start, but we need to start with the calendar as always. Most recently we got data from US inflation, which came slightly worse than expectations, not a big difference. But a huge difference was on job data from Canada. As you can see here, significant drop in unemployment rate and net change in employment. Look at this. Previous number minus 7,000, expected number 10,000, but we got 10 times more, so 1,600. This is great data, and this data is helping the Canadian dollar to climb higher. As it is last day of this week, we need to check the calendar for the next week. As you can see, Monday is pretty quiet. Tuesday is kind of busy, but no major tier 1 data. Wednesday is the busiest one with the GDP from Eurozone, retail sales from US, and inflation from Canada. On Thursday we have job data from Australia only, surprisingly. Usually Thursdays are pretty busy. And on Friday inflation from Eurozone. Also, let me check like this, it will be better. Next week, yes, you can see on Friday we also, apart from the inflation from Eurozone, we have Michigan Consumer Sentiment Index. So this is it. This is the calendar for the next week. With that being said, we can check the charts, and Bitcoin broke finally this $6,000 resistance and is on the rise, and we do have a buy signal after the breakout of this resistance. As you can see, now Fibos can be useful because we need to check how deep this correction can go. 23.6 is a good target, but 38.2, I guess it's even better for the Bitcoin buyers. What I think about this is price staying below, actually price breaking the yellow resistance is a legitimate buy signal. American dollar to Swiss franc, here is quite a surprising situation, because here on 1st of May price defended this horizontal support. Yesterday it seemed that the price defended this horizontal support again, but today we do have a breakout. Obviously buyers can still pull this off, so they can pull the price higher. Okay, this can happen. At the end of the day, the price can create a hammer, for example, here. So for the major long-term signal from the daily chart, we need to wait a little bit more. But you have to admit that it doesn't look good, and everything should be clear on Friday, so at the end of the day. So price closing at day above green line with a hammer kind of formation will be a buy signal, and price closing a day below the green area will be a signal to go short. New Zealand dollar to Canadian dollar is still pushing lower, even despite this long tail in the hammer formation. I think that this situation from a weekly chart is more important and is crucial here as a bearish factor. So what we have here is a bearish engulfing on a weekly candlestick chart. That's a false breakout above the horizontal resistance, false breakout above the dynamic resistance, and this is a reaction after this. And also you remember about this double top formation, first top, second top, and we are below the neckline of this formation. The neckline of this double top formation is this blue line. So we are below, and as long as we are below, the sentiment is negative. Now gold. Okay, gold tried to break this upper line of the wedge again. I would say that gold is surprisingly weak at the moment, taking into the consideration those tensions about trade wars between US and China. Traders are pretty resilient here, so they don't want to buy gold too early or too much, and they are not abandoning stocks or emerging markets currencies. So it does not look so negative, so positive for gold as one could expect. The major buy signal here on this instrument will be triggered when the price will close a day above the upper red line. Now American dollar to Russian ruble, interesting situation here because the price created the flag, another flag. So there is a wedge, upswing, flag, upswing, flag. And this flag ended on a horizontal support here and is promoting a further rise. For the buy signal, you need to see the price closing a day above the upper black line. As long as we are below, there is no buy signal. Very similar situation is on Euro to Russian ruble, where the price bounced from the long-term horizontal support, and after this we broke the dynamic resistance and a horizontal resistance. And here we told you that there will be a buy signal. So there is a buy signal, and most recently we do have a rectangle, and the rectangle is promoting another buy signal. So price closing today above the upper line of this rectangle will be an invitation to go long. And this is my view on Euro to Russian ruble. Now American dollar to Canadian dollar, where you can see precisely what happened after the better data from Canada and worse data from US. So combination of two bearish factors here. There is this inverse shoulder formation, then symmetric triangle, and here for a long time there was a buy signal, but the buy signal ended with these fundamentals, and now we do have a short-term sell signal. Why? Because we are still above the major uptrend line. So as long as we stay above the major uptrend line, we cannot think about the long-term sell signal. Short-term, yes, fair enough, but not long-term sell signal. Now dollar index is suffering after this weaker CPI data, and you can see that most probably traders will play this scenario of the false breakout above this horizontal resistance. So this can turn ugly for the euro, for the dollar index, and this can bring us another way and another leg down towards this lower line of the ascending triangle pattern. Swiss franc to Japanese yen. Here, beautiful example why you cannot be too greedy. So I sold here, and that's a perfect trade. That's one of the best trades in terms of the technical analysis. I sold here. Why? Because there was descending triangle pattern, breakout of the support, then the price created a trend continuation pattern, which is a pennant. So this pennant was promoting a further drop. The price indeed broke the lower line of this pennant and went lower. Yesterday I decided to close this position because this drop was so significant, so big, that I was afraid of a correction, and correction aiming yellow line, because this was very flat correction, and I closed my position here, and almost immediately the price went higher. That is a beautiful setup. that it was a beautiful trade, and money management and position management. Well, sometimes it happens. I don't want to tell you that I have the skills always. Sometimes it just happens. This is the next target, and the next target will be the yellow line. Australian dollar to Japanese yen is also reversing, is also trying a bullish correction. At least they were trying a bullish correction late at the Asian session. Sentiment is still negative here. British pound to Japanese yen. Yesterday we also said that we are looking for a correction. The correction is happening right now. I don't want to tell you that we will get there on Monday, maybe Tuesday, maybe Wednesday. It's just a matter of direction. So I'm not telling you that we will reach this resistance on Monday. I'm just thinking about the possible correction here, which is happening right now. But the sentiment is still negative. Now euro to Canadian dollar. Euro to Canadian dollar is having typical reaction for this fundamental number. But first I wanted to tell you about the euro dollar, because what happened on euro dollar is that euro dollar broke the upper line of the symmetric triangle pattern here. Okay. And also in line with upper line of the symmetric triangle pattern, we broke this horizontal resistance. And it all happened yesterday. And after the breakout of those two resistances, we also used them as supports. And now the price is aiming higher. Obviously, weaker inflation from US is helping here. So breakout from the symmetric triangle, breakout of the upper line of the triangle, and the horizontal resistance, both are interesting, legitimate trading signals. And similar situation was on euro to Canadian dollar, but here it can turn ugly into the false breakout because of this better data from Canada. So here also price broke the upper line of the triangle and the horizontal resistance, but the price came back below. Boom. And price closing a day below those two lines will be a significant strong sell signal. S&P 500 is attacking the yearly uptrend line. Okay, fair enough, but they are still in this wedge pattern. That's what I told you, that price is pretty resilient here, and it's relatively high, to be honest with you, so on high levels, but no buy signal. Buy signal will be created when we'll break this upper black line. So far, no trading signal. And now crude, where situation was slightly better than this one on S&P 500. Well, one can say that we already, for example, broke this line of the correction. But for me, the buy signal will be triggered only when the price will break the orange line, and I told you that yesterday. And today we had a proof of that, because this line was tested as a resistance. So if it wasn't an important place, price would not bounce from here. Price did bounce from here, which only proves that this resistance is crucial here. So price closing today above the orange line on crude oil will be a buy signal, and price breaking closing today below the black line will be a signal to go short. So guys, a lot of trading occasions right now. Situation is cool in terms of the technical and fundamental analysis, which is awesome for traders. So don't forget about the money management, risk control, and look for decent trading setups. I hope you will find them easily. Thanks very much, guys. All the best, and good luck